every single time. I start this podcast rubbing my hands together, but that's okay.
Like Birdman, it's
I'm
fine.
like, why do I do this?
It's a ritual at this point.
Oh, every time. Hi, hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the BINACT podcast, where we talk music, the people that make it, and the communities that listen to it. Tonight, we have a bonus episode, and B, a bonus episode that doesn't include my regular co-host AD. I'm gonna say guest, but I'm just gonna put it out in the universe that it becomes like our relationship in real life and not a guest where you just become a family person of the or family member of the podcast. My best friend Tamara is joining me tonight for our first bonus episode, which is kind of crazy. I've done mini-sodes, but never like a full bonus. And the reason for that is because in the midst of starting a podcast in the pandemic, I was kind of like, well, how do you bring guests on the podcast? What does that look like? And what really constitutes a bonus episode? But it feels like a bonus episode is going to be an episode with guests, with maybe a little less structured topics, with a little less structure, more fun, and not necessarily artists, but kind of like friends and family of the pod. So with all that being said, I'm going to let Tamara introduce herself and talk about what she does in and off the interwebs, and we'll get to chatting.
All right. Well, again, as Candice mentioned, my name is Tamara. Candice and I are really good friends, best friends. We met in our freshman year of college at the University of South Carolina, and we have literally been inseparable since. She's honestly more like a sister to me than anything. We actually bonded over our love for music in the first place. So it's very full circle that I'm here today, and I'm very happy to be here and to be able to be a guest on the podcast. I'm just so proud of everything that Candice has, been able to do with this platform. As far as what I do on a daily basis, I am an administrative assistant in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but I live in New Orleans, Louisiana. So I just, of course, commute every day. Ugh, ugh, yuck.
Adulthood is the worst.
But in my free time, like I mentioned, I love listening to music. I love fashion, creating some beauty content in my free time. Not as much as I would like to, but hopefully I can, ramp that back up at some point. But again, I'm just so happy to be here and to be able to be on the podcast. And thank you so much, Candice, for having me.
I'm so excited. And this is not an interview, but the people want to know, when is the content coming back? And by the people, I mean myself. I guess it's just me.
Soon. I got a lot going on in life.
I guess it's just me, but we are ready. Well, I say that, and slight sidebar, I think beauty content, like in its heyday, it was, like super huge and like stuff like that. But now I really love the girlies that be like there are people that like stream on Twitch that just kind of like do their faces and talk.
I kind of love to do that. I would probably.
I think that that's so cool.
That.
I honestly would watch that content more than like, because a lot of beauty vloggers are normally like, they kind of become the whole influencer route, right? So it's like, I'm a beauty vlogger, and then I'm like a fashionista, and then I'm like a full influencer, to where I was talking, like we were talking about in our group chat, to where sometimes I don't need like full ad, like like full trying to sell me something all the time. Like sometimes I just need something simple and like easy. And so like watching people do their makeup or whatever, there's a niche for that on Twitch. But even I guess in like YouTube form, it'd be like, doing makeup and then like just having conversations. I don't know what that looks like.
Who do have those kind of videos. It's just kind of few and far in between though. So yeah, I feel you though.
There's an audience for it, but I know it's different because like beauty content used to be like, and again, like doing full faces all the time, and then you have to like record it and all that stuff. So I can imagine it being cumbersome, because even the little editing that I do now, I'm like, well, I don't want to. I hate it here.
Yeah, that was honestly the worst part of making the content. Honestly, is editing is like the worst part, to be quite honest. But it is what it is.
Nowadays, the content creators like pay people to video edit. Like it's different out here. It's different out here. Like even in like what the 5 years or so, like the landscape is
it's different,
changing. And that's why like I'm not even a real YouTuber. Like YouTube is still very new to me. So I'm just here really so I don't get fined. I'm just here. But so we actually have like a bunch of fun stuff to talk about today. And
I'm so excited
because I know AD is probably, there's a 50-50 chance that he'll listen to it. So for the 50-50 chance that he will listen to it, I just wanted to say that this episode is to talk about things without men. No, but it's just different. Like I obviously love AD as a co-host. He's a phenomenal co-host and has like a lot of great ideas, and we talk. But there's a different dynamic about even feminine voices in talking about music. I feel like we don't have enough of them, or people discredit them or think that we only listen to like certain things, so they don't take our opinions seriously. Or then similarly, like when you're in like the nerd space, they're kind of like, well, name 50 rappers and all of their discographies. Like ain't nobody fucking doing that either. And don't nobody be coming for you when all you listen to is like Lil Uzi Vert and whatever. So I mean, it's just really weird. But a main reason for like the bonus episodes that I want to do moving forward is kind of having conversations with different people and different consumers of music that like maybe that people wouldn't anticipate, or I don't want to say not pay attention to, but I guess you don't normally hear, right? Like hearing to, I get, are we 30 somethings? I don't know what's happening. Where are we at?
Well, please don't remind me.
Where are we at? Like whatever
this year, and I can't believe it.
Like I'd say because sometimes when you say millennial, like because there's like a kind of like a big gap, and we're at like the end of millennial. So nowadays you'll say millennial and people will be like, are you 40? And I'm like, no, no, I'm not. I'm not 40, but I'm also not 20. So
it's that weird in between.
Where do I land?
In between.
A lot of stuff has happened in the music landscape, well, really all year, but particularly within the past, like what feels like 3 weeks. We briefly touched on this in the last episode, but we did it very, very briefly. And I still want to just say rest in peace to Takeoff, because that is still very much mind-blowing. And and at the time that we recorded, I still really couldn't, and I probably still won't be able to like fully process it. And I have a full hard stop on like this internet detective sleuthing, figuring out who did what, showing the videos and things. But I did think that it was actually Tamara's suggestion to talk about like his influence and how a lot of people our age grew up with his music and like the Migos music, like through an entire era of, I guess, like culture shifting. So like I remember Migos came out
2013, I think 2012, 2013. Yeah,
it feels like 2012 because I remember Migos at like probates and stuff.
So definitely in that
it wasn't 2010, it wasn't that early, but like somewhere around there. But like Migos, I mean, they came out because remember they were mixtape heavy, and a lot of people don't know that being in Columbia, South Carolina, like at that time, and kind of still, but definitely at that time, when you were like big in Atlanta, you came to Columbia. Like the circuit was kind of Atlanta, and I want to say you did like Savannah, which is at the top of Georgia, like moving northward, and then like Augusta, and then Columbia, and then maybe Aiken. Like that used to be a whole tour kind of thing, like for artists, like especially when they are up and coming in that area when you did the Southeast. So those songs used to travel, because I also think of Future, who was very, very popular, and it moved pretty quickly. So at the same time that that Atlanta got a lot of those major hits, they were trickling down or trickling upward to us. And what's their like first big?
Like Versace, and then
wasn't there something before Versace?
Or like,
I mean, their first big, I guess, like super
yeah, their
mainstream
first like
song was
super mainstream
Versace.
song was definitely
But what
Versace.
was like, what were we listening to? Now I'm gonna pull up
You
this. Like, I just can't remember what we were, because we used to hear a lot of that stuff.
we used to hear a
Like,
lot of that stuff.
I am about to pull it up because I'm bothered now that I can't remember. Like, oh my god, there's so many albums.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2015. Damn, they've been making music for a long time. Just
Yeah.
going back and
I
like
remember
looking.
hearing the first
Okay. So for
years,
instance, Hannah
like,
Montana. Hannah Montana
yeah,
was
Hannah
like,
Montana, Bando, like all those songs, those were like,
that was 2013. Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, so all of that stuff was around the time, they were getting popular. Um well, in Colombia, but then like they were still they were at that time they were still big, but they were like what, Southeast big, Southern big.
yeah, definitely Southern.
Um oh my god, I'm just looking back. So their first album actually, I didn't know this. Their first album is called Jug Season. It came out in 2011. I don't know that I've ever, yes, I have. I've heard Pots and Pans. I was like, I don't know that I've ever heard anything off this album, but I'm
Yeah.
tripping. But that was like the first, I didn't realize that Versace and Bando were on the same album. Because
Mhm.
Versace didn't pop until way later. And Hannah Montana. Like, yeah. And then Young Rich and Niggas, all that stuff. So, anyways,
Yep, and they moved on to the culture.
that's crazy.
Yeah, like they really did like change the way like music sounded. Really.
I mean, and that was kind of an era where we had like, so trap
Yeah,
kind of switched from like when you think about trap music, you thought about like the,
yeah, and Jeezy's and
yeah, like which their music was still clearly different. It definitely, and I don't want to say this with like fervor, but like it did not have as much like finesse. Like it was definitely trap music. And
Mhm.
it was like, fun music, but like T.I. had like a couple of those songs where, like it was very typical Southern rap. What am I thinking of? Like, hey, let's get away,
Yeah,
let's get a room on the other
and
side. What's
melodic
the,
rap. Yeah.
yeah, like he had that, but it was still like
Yeah.
typical Southern. And Migos really kind of changed the way, not necessarily even in the flows, but
I think
the
so.
way that Southern hip hop was performed, I guess, like the way that we received it. And I don't mean necessarily performed like on stages, but like the way that it was like executed. It was executed differently. And it was more,
I think they changed the flows. Honestly.
I mean, they definitely did. Like their cadences were different.
Mhm.
Or I guess to me it feels like they expanded upon them more. Like Southern rap had
Yeah,
a
definitely.
lot of that, a lot of the same flows, but again, like adding ad libs, like those
Mhm. Yeah,
huge
those crazy ad libs.
ad libs, like that was pretty new. And then
That's
like
crazy.
the way it's just the way that they did it was so fun and reminiscent on a time of true fun. And so I
Mhm.
mean, it's hurtful that he passed so soon, but I didn't realize that we were all the same age.
Mhm. Pretty much.
Like I thought
Mhm.
for some reason, I don't know why I thought they were younger.
Mhm.
Not by much, but I don't know why I thought they were younger. But similarly, like with Travis Porter, I thought that I knew they were older than us because Travis
Mhm.
Porter was still out like in college before we got there. But yeah,
I
it's really crazy that
still have not wrapped my head around it. It's just so sad. Like, I'm still not over it. But yeah, I think I was telling my dad, like, because he was like, "You're being dramatic or whatever." Because I was just so upset. Like, I was so upset that Takeoff had passed away.
that's so annoying to be like,
And my dad was like, "You're being a little bit dramatic," and I was like, "Well, you gotta understand." Like, I asked him, I was like, "Well, for your generation, because me and my dad we bond over music. He even got Miko songs on his phone, so that
he
might be
was being a hater.
was being dramatic." But anyways, I asked him, I was like, "So who would you say changed, rap for your generation?" He was like, I'd probably say like Run DMC. And I was like, exactly. So you have to think of them as kind of like our generation's like Run DMC. they're Run DMC for a lot of people like our
Yeah.
age. When you
And
think
the
about
thing of
rap groups, like they're really the
yeah.
first, like for our generation, the first rap group that like took off, you know? So
Yeah, and thinking about it, because when we think about music in this era, like people come and go so often nowadays, and then there are so many people that kind of like try to replicate the
mhm.
machine. But looking back on it, and truthfully, I'll say that I took it for granted because I obviously expected to have Migos around a lot
Yeah,
longer.
for
So
a
I
lot,
was
yeah.
like,
You couldn't
yeah,
tell me that this is the way that the Migos went in. Like you
no, like yeah, like I just kind of and even like in the setting that I am now. So like, was I consistently listening to Migos? Not really, because I've kind of, I won't necessarily even say aged out, but I just don't. I'm not in this space to where I just listen to Migos because I'm not out or anything. Like it was for me, it was like out music, so it wasn't music. And don't get me wrong, there are people who turn on like their trap
Mhm.
music to work. That's
Yeah.
just not me as a person anymore. Very difficult. So like
Yeah.
I just didn't think that I would have to like, I was all, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'll catch up at some
Yeah.
point. Because I'll catch up. They're gonna come out with another album. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll I'll
It's
get there.
crazy because like the album that he and Quavo put out, that Takeoff and Quavo put out, I think it's Made for Infinity Links, I think that's what it's called. It
Mm-hmm.
was actually like really good. Like really good. And they only put that out a week before he passed away.
That's so
Crazy.
crazy.
That's
That's
literally
so crazy.
crazy.
That's so crazy.
It's so sad. And hopefully, they Quavo and Offset can, continue on. Um, I know it's probably going to be very hard.
Yeah, and truthfully, I wouldn't want them to, or I wouldn't expect them to. You know what I mean? Like, unless they, really felt like, yeah, we do it in Takeoff's
Yeah.
honor or whatever. But like, I wouldn't expect it, or it'd be like, yeah, put out music.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no. But I mean, if that's what they want to do, I hope that's something that they can do. And
well,
yeah,
getting that out of the way because I wanted to get the stats stuff out of the way first.
yeah, it's sad.
I couldn't do it. Like, that's
Man,
as much as I can handle.
awful.
Um, whew. I want to give you the floor because I've actually wanted to talk about this artist more and I just haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But you were telling me that Vince Staples' last couple albums are good, and the
Yeah.
last album that I've heard was Big Fish Theory, which was apparently 72 years ago. So,
You
like,
really did not. You really did not believe me when I told you that the album
I
was
was
like.
like, that feels like, I mean, it just felt more recent. And then apparently,
Yeah.
again, he's been hard at work because there's been 3 albums since then, which seems kind of
Mhm.
crazy. I mean, 3 albums in what was that, 6 years?
Yeah. So. hmm. So
6 years,
the album
seven
that he
years.
put out at the beginning of this year, well, not the beginning, it was like June. So in June he dropped an album titled Ramona Park Broke My Heart. It's so good. It's so good. It's just so good.
I wish
It's
I
just like
knew.
a really good body of work, And his last 3 albums have been really good bodies of work. Big Fish Theory was also a good body of work. Excuse me.
We also allow for life because in the middle of my recordings
So
there are
sorry. My
normally children's or anything that normally happens in the middle of
Get that
things.
stuff out.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, so past Big Fish Theory. Big Fish Theory was actually a really good album. It was just like a lot more experimental, I think,
Yeah,
with the
definitely.
sounds and stuff. And he even said that it was pretty much an experimental album because he wanted to play around with like getting songs synced and things like that on movies and TV and stuff, and it worked really well.
Mhm.
He got a lot of money off that album. But after that, he put out FM, which was a really good album. I think that was like 2018. Yeah, that was like 2018. And then um, after that, he released a self-titled Vince Staples, but I think that was an EP or an LP. But then, like I said, this year he dropped Ramona Park Broke My Heart, and the production on Ramona Park Broke My Heart is just so good. Um, The continuity of the album is really good. The bars are really good. He actually has a song on there with Lil Baby, and I was not
Oh.
expecting that. And
That doesn't sound like a collab that I would expect.
exactly,
It's not that it's gonna be bad. I just, like you said, it's unexpected.
exactly. And when people ask him that question, he's just like, "Why? Why would you think that that's something that couldn't happen or shouldn't happen or whatever?" But yeah, it's actually a really good collab, and it's just a really good album.
If you had to pick, let's see, how many songs are on this album? There's 16. If you had to pick three,
Mm-hmm.
which three would you pick?
Ooh, oh my God, that's so hard. That's so hard.
Besides the singles, so pick
Yeah,
three deep
besides,
cuts.
okay, three deep cuts. Because the single is what, Magic? Yeah, Magic and Lemonade. Those are the two singles off the album. But still really good songs. But if I had to pick three deep cuts, I would pick probably Free to Homies. That's my shit. That's my shit.
You know what? That sounds like some very West Coast vibes.
And it is. It is. Period.
It
So
sounds like West Coast vibes. After you say these three, I'm gonna talk about the Black Panther soundtrack. The first one, not the
don't
second
even
one.
get me started. Yeah, don't even get me started. Because
The first one, not the second
Paramedic top 10 songs in history on my list. On my list. And every time you play it, the West Coast gonna come out of me.
one.
But Free to Homies, When Sparks Fly, and East Point Prayer, which is the song with Lil Baby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Those are
like
my
it.
favorites. Those are my favorites. But like I said, all of them are really good.
I've been asking people to do stuff like that because, like, for instance, if I haven't been into an artist for a while or whatever, I'm like, give me like your three. Give me three and give me three deep cuts because obviously, like, I mean, singles are singles, which doesn't necessarily mean that the singles are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want songs that are like on the album so I can like get a good feel for, like what a good feel who's really into the artist, like what do their tastes say about like this artist or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I like that. And I want to go back and give these
Yeah, you should
albums a
definitely
good
give
listen.
especially those last three. I would definitely go back and give those a try. Absolutely. And I'll still play his old shit from from forever ago.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's like
goodness.
definitely one of my favorites for sure. And he's had a really good year, I think. Because Magic is like his first song, if I'm not mistaken, to be like on the Billboard chart. So
Huh. And again, I don't know what the song sounds like, which is crazy, which I'm gonna
Magic,
yeah, or
you've heard it. I promise you've heard it. If you turn on the radio, you've heard it. I promise.
but that's really difficult because like I've heard
You've heard it. Even if you just heard it and then like bam out the car, you probably heard it.
maybe, and I just don't know what it sounds like. But to take a small derail, I did pull up the original or the Black Panther 1 soundtrack because I was looking, I was like, this soundtrack slapped. And I've heard that
And it
people
did, and it just does not compare to this one. I'm so sorry.
that's what
I'm
I said.
so,
I've heard that people are kind of like, the second one don't hit.
it don't hit. The
It
first one
don't.
hits. The first
Well,
one
is it
hits.
like, is it more sad? Like, is it kind of like
I
just
think so.
mellower?
Yeah,
Because
and then it has a lot of it's like a mix between like Afrobeat and like um Afrobeats and there's a lot of Spanish music on the album
hmm,
um as well, I believe. I ran through it really quickly in the car like last weekend when I was coming back from Memphis just to see like if did it compare to the first one, and it doesn't.
I mean, I kind of wouldn't expect it to because the first one is honestly so good. Like,
Like, claps
and
to
I
you.
think
Claps to you, Kendrick.
yeah, and then like, and with this one too, I also heard that it's not as cohesive, so it's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of like
not
a
because
hard
it has
listen.
to split between the two worlds because we got Wakanda, and then I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what the other
Me either. Me
the
either.
opposing side is. Um,
I have not seen it either, and I don't know when I'm gonna see it because fun fact, I'm still kind of fearful of movie theaters, and since this movie is so big, like certain things I'll go see, or I've been to the movie theater since the parallelogram, but since this is like a huge ass movie, I'm not really trying to be in the theater with niggas. No, no, thank you. Um, not at all. Speaking of interesting genres, I am going to slight pivot to Beyonce because
Mhm.
Beyonce also released an album that, again, I would like to just be able to talk about in enough depth without a man. I was trying to find a way to not say that, but I mean, like, it's just like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes there just aren't enough people that can, and I won't say that like there are men that don't appreciate Beyonce, but there just aren't enough of people that or men that appreciate Beyonce in the way that I need them to. And
Mhm.
I'm not even like Hive. Like I will always go like not to say that I don't like Beyonce. I don't need the Hive coming for me, but or it took me like basically my like rise to Beyonce still came at like self-titled. I was a Beyonce fan and I loved Dangerously in Love, obviously, because like we all knew that album, but I didn't become like a full like, oh my God, I'm following Beyonce until self-titled.
Mhm.
So I appreciate, especially like just her artistry as a whole, like self-titled was so like it was, like the surprise album, but it was like big and it had the visuals and like all that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to Beyonce really until there, but I've been like following her ever since with Lemonade and then like her and Jay-Z's album. And I did listen to Black is King. I haven't listened to Black is King enough, but like
Yeah. Me either, to be honest.
but now we are here at a Renaissance and Beyonce just needs her flowers for being an artiste. I feel like sometimes people, I don't want to say downplay like her artistry, but they just don't give her credit or like try to be like, well, she doesn't write her music or like, whatever. But like as an all around artist, I feel like give Beyonce her things, please and thank you.
Absolutely, all of them.
And
Oh,
Renaissance is undeniably really fucking good.
so good. So good. Like there's not even words. So good.
Um, it's not, and again, I have to go on record saying that it's not an album that I play regularly. Like I know people that are like, yeah, I play it
I'm still
7
playing.
times a week. I play it 7 times. I play it once a day every day or twice a day every day. And I'm like, I love it, but and I feel what frustrates me is I really want to hear it out. Like I don't like just
Yeah.
listening to
Oh,
it
yeah. I
in my
definitely.
house. So like it
I
kind of
play.
depresses me to turn
Yeah.
it on and be like,
Dang, I
well,
can't dance. I can't dance.
right, like I
I
can't
can't dance with my girls. Like, what is happening?
I cannot, and it's just really annoying to me. And it extra annoyed me that no one in Colombia, like the weekend that it came out, I was like, so nobody is like spinning it. Like I knew if I went out, because this is a topic for a completely different episode, but like the scene here is just so fucking
Try.
dry, weird, lame. Like I would have gone out and like I could have gone to anywhere. Like even like the areas that are black, they don't have DJs like that. So I probably still wouldn't have heard
Wouldn't
it,
hear
which
it. Hmm.
which
Yeah.
made me really sad. And but I also I would like to stand up for my girl because there's so many people out there that slander um my one oh actually I mean it's not like it I don't know. It might be my top 3, but y'all really be hating on All Up in Your Mind as a song, and I have a problem with that.
And that's fine.
I have a problem with that because that is a good song. Like, yes, of course, like it's definitely not up there with Church Girl, of course
Mm-mm.
not, or
No.
like Cuff It or Alien Superstar,
No.
fine, or Cozy even. But
No.
like, y'all just be disregarded All Up in Your Mind as a song, like it's not that
You know
bitch, and
what?
I have a
You
problem.
know what? I'm gonna give you that. That's probably like my favorite song on the second half of the album. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
Like, it's just good. Like, because
I'll
I
give-
mean, America.
And American
So
Has a Problem. Those two are the only two that I feel like, okay, like I love these songs off the second album, but they don't compare to the first. The first half, the first like half of the album is just like
I mean, just very strong.
It's like it's just so good. It's so
very
good.
strong. But also because I really like Summer Renaissance as an end to the album.
Mm.
So
Just
I
like
don't
that.
know. And then there's Heated, like,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good. So
There's
good.
not a song on here that I'm just like, ew, no. Like, there
Yeah,
to
that I
me,
was like, oh my God, I'm gonna skip it. I can't listen to it. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
not
Absolutely.
a bad song, but I really just need y'all to give all up in your mind. It like y'all be talking, y'all really just don't be talking about that song enough for me. Like y'all be like, whatever. Like, no, that song good. I hate y'all for that. That's my jam. Like that is one song that like I actually can kind of listen to out of context of the
Yeah,
album and be okay with it.
like at work and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's about I like that song and I want y'all to put more respect on its name. I feel personally,
Attacked.
yeah, by y'all not liking the song as much as me. Like, because even I'm looking at the track list and then like Virgo's group, there's so many songs that you can like put
Yeah.
on because Church Girl is another one that you can actually just kind of like throw on, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, put it on, cool. But it's just so good.
So good.
And her like the obviously like the best things about the album are like how it flows into each other, like the production choices and what she does with it, and then like her vocal abilities because like she is fucking singing,
Singing.
especially is it Virgo's Groove or it's I think it's both Plastic Off the Sofa
That's
and
the
Virgo's
source
Groove,
that goes into Virgo's group. Yeah.
but she's singing on both of them.
Singing. I mean, doing acrobatics, doing stuff the girls just can't do. And
Lord knows that I can't sing, so
the girls just can't.
I just
They can try, but they can't.
and she's nominated for like 1,000,007 Grammys, which
Yeah.
also we don't care about the Grammys, so
We're not
whatever. And I also would like for us
as a united front, I would love for us to just
I would love for us to stop caring.
Yeah, and care.
I would love for us to, as a unit, stop giving a fuck. Because even like for instance, like for the I really think it's like 9 nominations though. For the not is it 9? For however many nominations that she gets, we know that she's not going to be nominated or she's not going to get the Grammy for I mean, if she does not win at least one Grammy for Renaissance, I am going to be flizzled.
Yeah, we'll riot. We'll riot. But we just got to learn how to like just not care because it's not for us. And we've known this for a very long time, but we still choose to gripe and complain.
I just want us to be less angry.
Yeah,
like, because we know, like, for instance,
same.
Talking about, people that should have been there, like Denzel Curry tweeted and it was like, JID should have been on there and Smino should be on there. All these people should be on there. It's like, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what we gonna do? Beat them up? No. I mean, and especially like people like JID and Smino, I feel like they get their flowers. Do they get enough flowers? Still no.
No.
Still no. But it's honestly like for the girls that get it. Like we fucking get it.
No. And that's
like we get it, and we're getting it enough for you to eat. So like, fuck Grammys. Honestly, truly. And Smino's album was so good too. Like, oh my god, Smino, JID, and Kenny Mason single-handedly saved rap for me this year because I don't really know what the fuck anybody else is talking about. TBH. And with JID and Kenny Mason both being on Dreamville, I didn't realize I was leaning very heavy Dreamville because I guess it's coming in like phases, particularly because Schoolboy hasn't dropped. Like sometimes it's very TDE.
So ready for Schoolboy.
Yeah, sometimes it's Dreamville, but I feel like it's a Dreamville year for me because they've been eating. And then like obviously Ari Lennox dropped, and I think we talked briefly about her album a couple podcasts ago or a couple episodes ago. But yeah, Dreamville is eating. Like they're doing it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, Smino's album was very, very good. Very good.
I just have to pull up the track list. I think my favorite song, and I can say this with almost like about 97.6% confidence.
I think you can guess mine.
My favorite song is that old ass Kendrick.
I can see that for you.
Fucking shit. Like it's so good.
I can see
Oh,
that for you.
that's so good.
You
Oh.
know, I love a beat, so I'm gonna let you try to guess which one mine is.
Let me think. I'm looking. Well, it could go one of two ways. I'm gonna guess the Uzi Vert feature because
No,
Pudgy is really
no,
good.
it is good, but that's not it.
Let me think. Let me think. Mm-mm-mm. Tell me.
No L's, just go so
Oh
mother.
my god. Duh. Yeah, but yeah,
No L's go so
it
hard.
goes so hard, and it's so close to the beginning of the album.
I know, but it just starts from the beginning. It starts from the beginning. From the beginning. From the beginning. No L's, and you know I love me some Mr. Lucky Day.
Oh my
So
god,
more than a
yeah,
minute. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I
No,
mean all of. You know what? What I will say, because like this is album 3. Make sure I'm not tripping. Um, every album that he like, so Black Swan was definitely kind of like that, like super groovy, rappy rap. Noir's like getting into his kind of like very melodic bag because he's melodic on Black Swan, but he's like very melodic and getting kind of jazzy. And like Love for Rent feels like he's fully leaning into that, as he tweeted, he was like, yeah, like, you know, don't put me in a genre. I am the genre. Like, it's very just like, it's a perfect blend of like
yeah.
rapping his ass off and then like,
Mhm,
again, production choices
mhm.
and then crooning and then all this stuff.
It's good. It's
I
really
love the album and I honestly haven't listened to it as much as I want to because it's another one that's like, I don't know, like my music listening habits have been so all over the place lately. Like normally, but I mean, one thing that I've landed on is that I'm an album person, so I do have to like listen to albums. I can't do playlist. And the only time I can do like the shuffle radio type stuff
good.
is
I love playlists.
I just haven't been in the mood to listen to them lately. I don't hate them. I
Mhm.
just now like listening to albums better than hearing playlists. And I haven't listened to Smino as much as I want to. Like I think I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times, but I can
Yeah,
say
same.
without doubt that again, Smino, JID, and Kenny
One
Mason.
this year.
I mean, they're just you know what, and Earth Gang, because I
Yeah.
forgot Earth Gang dropped at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just out here. And Earth Gang's not signed to Dreamville, even though they tour with Dreamville a lot, but I don't think they're signed to
Yes,
Dreamville.
they are.
They
What?
are? I don't know.
Yes. Oh,
I can't remember.
they
Aren't they?
have to be if they on if they on Are they?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm confused. I can't remember if they're signed to Dreamville or not.
Yes.
Because just like Kenny Mason wasn't signed to Dreamville for a while, like he was
Let me see when it
working
was
with
that he
them, but he
signed.
wasn't signed. So I don't remember.
Well,
I don't remember.
yeah, yeah. They've been signed to Dreamville since like 2016.
Okay, good. I
Maybe
mean,
2016, 2017.
it's just surprising me that I'm leaning
Yeah.
so Dreamville heavy. That's why I say that.
Yeah. Speaking of, I cannot wait to go. I cannot wait to go back.
Everybody loves Dreamville Fest.
So good. We already bought our tickets.
Amen.
We were thinking of something in the water, but by the time we decided we wanted to go to something in the water, the VIP tickets were sold out, and I don't do anything less than VIP.
That's the thing. Like, I just keep like festivals. I don't. It might just be 2025 for me or some shit. Like the tickets come out so fast, and I
Mhm.
don't be like ready to jump because again, content like when the weekend dropped his, like the tour tickets this year, I knew I was gonna go. I was gonna brave that. But like festivals, I don't know, because you gotta I gotta buy a hotel, and then 9 times out of 10, I gotta fly and like
Mhm.
all that stuff. So festivals, I have not been to a festival since 2018.
Mhm.
Honestly, truly. Um, right? Yeah, 2018 because I went to A3C in 2013. 20 did I say 2013? 2018. Um, but that's the last festival I've been to, I think.
Last year, Dreamville last year was my first festival since 2019. I went to Louisiana in 2019 for the first time. I wish I would have gone this year because that was Takeoff's last
Oh
performance.
shit. That's so Ugh.
And I was thinking about going, but when I saw the lineup, I was like,
Festivals are only as good as their lineup, and if the lineup's ass, I'm
yeah.
not spending the money.
And
Like,
I don't think that it was, I can't remember. Because they pushed it back so many times, I feel like I didn't even know that Drake and Migos and all of them were supposed to even be coming because they had pushed it back like 3 times and changed the lineup 3 times. So it was just like, yeah. But now I regret it.
I try to alleviate and free myself from the festival regret because it doesn't always work out for me. But I'm glad you're going to Dreamville Fest
Yeah,
because like it seems like it's been good.
it's so
I've been
good.
wanting to go to something in the water, but I
Yeah.
actually want to try and swing Broccoli Fest next year. Like if I do
Mm-hmm.
swing one, I want to swing Broccoli Fest, which is like a little smaller, so it's not doing the most. And I'd love to go to DC because I think Broccoli Fest is
Yeah.
in DC. So if I go, it would be one of those. Um, and before we wrap, I have to talk about one of the most important things that I wanted to talk about tonight, which was
It's
Coco
like,
Jones's
oh,
EP.
my girl. That's my girl. My
So
girl.
I didn't even know that she was like actively putting out music.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened so before Tamara had like said like let's talk about Coco Jones. I heard her song, one of her songs off the EP on Sirius XM. Because fun fact, Sirius XM channel 48 is Heart and Soul Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all be saying R&B is dead, and Sirius XM be doing the curating for you. Like it's really all you gotta do is turn it on.
I wish I could afford the subscription.
Man, well, my daddy bought me a year of it, and I'm about to be.
The gift.
I know, great
It's
gift, and I'm gonna be sad when it runs out, and then I gotta pay for it again because now I can't not have it.
good. It's a good. That's a good subscription to have. To be
It's
honest.
so wild because like I don't even spend a ton of time in my car anymore, but when I'm on it, like the blessing of just being able. One thing I miss about like radio and like I'll even say cable, even though cable's expensive, is not having to think about my entertainment. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't realize that we had gotten to a point where now I have to just like think about the things I consume, which really frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really great to just turn on the radio and then hear people like Coco Jones and be like, "Oh my god, this was so lit."
The EP was really good. It
It's
was
7 songs, it's like 20 minutes. Like get your life. Cuz again, y'all really be trying to be out here like R&B is dead. No one makes
girls.
R&B.
The girls are singing. The girls are singing.
Fucking singing.
Coco is singing.
And again, she has some awesome production on there. So I
Yes, really
don't know.
good. Really good. I know she had like London on the track. I'm trying to think of who else. I think that was like I guess you could say like big name.
I don't support London on the track as a person because he's awful, but the beats still slap.
We're talking about the beat. The beat slap. The beat slap.
London on the track himself is a terrible person.
Yeah.
Summer Walker's terrible too, but I mean, London is also bad. So there's that. But yeah, like that's the one that I want to like yell at people to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Please do. Because
I know
sister,
you're.
she's bringing the vid. Oh, I cannot wait to see the rest of the visuals.
Oh,
I
is
see
there visuals?
so good. Yes, go look up the IC video. Sister is giving the look. She's giving the yes. She's giving. It's giving. It's giving.
All right, petition to start, and maybe it'll be something that BINACT does. But like, can we have like visual watch parties? Because when I tell you, I don't be knowing that niggas have visuals because I don't care. I mean, I care, but like again, because it's not coming to me, because nobody's saying, "Hey, watch this visual," or better
Mm-hmm.
yet, actually, don't take my fucking idea, hoes. I would like YouTube playlists, like like weekly YouTube
Yeah,
playlists.
that's actually a really good idea.
Don't
To
take
like
my idea, bitches. It's mine, but I
yeah.
have to do it, and then I'm gonna get tired. But like, don't take my ideas.
Speaking of
Like,
visuals, Beyonce, we need visuals. We in the
Beyonce don't
Midwest.
care. Beyonce said you gonna get these visuals
I
when
don't care
she go
about
on
us.
tour.
Yeah, that's
Apparently.
what it is. And speaking of, let's make sure that these coins.
Side note: at the time of recording, the Swifties have broken Ticketmaster. Um,
I'm sorry, what?
so like, I gotta do some Googles.
I
But
know they better fix that shit for Beyonce come.
but then somebody tweeted and was like, so the Swifties go break Ticketmaster so we can all get it, so they can get it together and fix it for Beyonce
Yeah,
tickets.
yeah. And I mean,
But
they
basically, they bought up all the
better.
tickets. You know, every time a huge artist drops tickets, Ticketmaster be like, I don't work ye broken," and you be like, Ticketmaster, like you got one fucking job, bitch. You
Literally the
got one
biggest,
job, and you be like, "Ooh, broken, I can't
one
work, server down,"
of the biggest ticket seller websites, and you're not working.
and it
Okay.
just be so much. Like, yeah, but so
Please
yes,
don't.
at the time of recording, Ticketmaster is trying to get their shit together for the fucking Taylor Swift concerts, and um, I hope they fix it. And I honestly, and like no jokes, I feel really bad for the people trying to buy tickets because that's fucked up.
Yeah, that is.
Because every time, again, especially like when an artist is big as Taylor Swift, and I don't think she's toured in a minute, so obviously people
Yeah,
are like
yeah.
ready to go see her, and the
Mhm.
site's just like, we know Worky broken. We don't got no more tickets. Everybody bought them all. Oopsies. Like Ticketmaster be coming with the worst excuses too. Like they tweeted the last tweet that I saw like before when we were getting ready was like, yeah, well, the public pre-sale that like we promoted and like told you was gonna happen just canceled because we don't got no more tickets. Huh? Huh?
Well,
I guess people bought them. I don't know the specifics, but it's just like they were like, yeah, public on sale or whatever. Like it was basically another day where you were supposed to get it. It's just canceled.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what the fuck?
That's awful.
And I know, I mean, like,
Not
there
this
is a
one.
possibility that everybody bought up all the tickets, but that seems very
That seems
unlikely.
very, yeah.
Like, even with people wanting to go, that seems every seat to every stop.
It doesn't sound right.
Also sounds like the way Ticketmaster would be letting them scalpers come in and then let them buy them tickets and raise the fucking
And
prices.
raise the prices. I was so mad. I wanted to see Jasmine. I can't remember if that was this year or this year. Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh, and I'm sure she came to New Orleans somewhere.
Yeah, she did, and the tickets were like bumped up to like $600.
The way that I love Jasmine Sullivan and I'm not gonna pay $600.
Yeah, I love her, but I'm not paying $600.
$600
That's crazy.
again to a scalper, like to a reseller. You can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Disrespectfully, you can kiss my ass. So I actually did not expect for us to go this long, but I'm very, very excited that we did. I am already in love with bonus episodes, and again, don't take my fucking idea because I'm tired tonight. But this YouTube visual thing, I feel like I'm onto something. But I am excited about bonus episodes. So again, you have to come back,
Yes.
chit chat, especially maybe at the beginning of the year when we figure out when Beyonce is going on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some anticipated drops coming out pretty soon. Yeah, I love it. And I'm glad that you got to come.
I'm so glad I was able to do this with you.
Like I said, New Noise. Go listen to Coco Jones. That's really it. Go fucking listen to Coco Jones. The EP is called
Watch Bel Air because she is killing her Hillary Banks role. If you haven't seen Bel Air, the reboot is really good. It's probably the only reboot that I can say is actually. Yeah.
Because did she start acting first or singing first? I can't even remember, child.
I mean, kind of both because she was on Disney. So
the EP is called What I Didn't Tell You.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I haven't watched the Bel Air reboot just because I guess I'm a bum. I don't know, just never started. But yeah, go listen to that album.
Let me know.
Go listen to that EP. Again, especially you Negroes that be like R&B is dead because it's not dead. It's alive and actually very much thriving.
Especially with the ladies.
The girlies are carrying heavy. I mean, there's Lucky Day.
Lucky Day. I'll give him his flowers.
There's Kyle Dion. There's Dixon, who I found out about on Sirius XM. Like there's some people, but the ladies are heavy carrying y'all. And like I need y'all to step it up. I need y'all to step that up. I need y'all to work on that for us.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. Last thing, promise. While we're talking about men not carrying things, Division. What the fuck was that?
Oh wait, I forgot. Do you see how I completely forgot about them dropping an album?
Oh, and I love them so much, but it's awful. Oh my god, my computer's at 5%, so that must mean that.
I will. The only thing I'll say is that we talked about Division last episode too, and I meant to listen to the album to maybe have an opinion, but I completely fucking forgot. But I've just seen so many mixed reviews, and especially because Division came out so hard. We went to go see them niggas.
And they just announced another tour, and I was like, do I want to go? I was like, I don't know, because I've already seen all the songs that I want to see. Last time was just a life-changing.
I mean, it was so good. It was so good.
We have to talk about that next time.
Yes, the next bonus episode will be the story about how we met
Daniel in 1985.
We'll talk about that. That will be the next episode, the next bonus episode.
They are good people, though. We'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it might have just been a misstep. Yep. Again, I haven't heard. I'm still gonna try because again, Amuse. I did say last episode, Amuse and her feelings was okay to me. It wasn't
okay. It definitely didn't compare to Morning After or
nothing compares to fucking September 5th.
September 5th, definitely.
Y'all are aggravating. So, yes, I will make sure that we wrap because the technology is technologying, and I still have to do some BINACT work for the night and then get in the bed. But thank you again for coming to hang. And this has been the BINACT podcast. We talk music, the people that make it, and the communities that listen to it. There will be another regularly scheduled episode after this. So you're going to have a lot of content to consume over your Thanksgiving break and to start to your Christmas holidays and all that jazz. And then we're going to take a break as we normally do. So talk to you later on the airwaves, on the internet, maybe on Twitter, maybe not because it's in flames. Whatever. I'll see you on the internet somewhere. Bye, guys.